Judge me. I'm way too cool for things like that.
But this country has a very dark past. As a black man, I wouldn't have even been allowed to set foot on this very beach just 20 years ago. For over a century, a white supremacist government controlled the nation and brutally oppressed black people.
They've got no education. They've only just come down from the trees.
This system of racial separation was called apartheid and was only abolished in 1994 when Nelson Mandela and the ANC came to power.
Today marks the dawn of our freedom.
There has been such extreme levels of segregation here, and knowing that that ended only 2 decades ago, I'm desperate to see how that has changed the lives of people just like me, if at all. Poverty is rife here, and today people talk of a new underclass emerging. It's not black people.
That's the way to do it.
But white.
I can't imagine anything worse than waking up in there.
We are going to take that belongs to us.
With years of hatred to overcome.
They're going to kill us.
And both sides still playing the race card.
Most white people learned black people the things they know today.
I want to find out what life is like for the young white South Africans.
Some of them are very racist.
Who think they are now bottom of the pile.
It's not a place to live here, not for the children.
If you are black, you're better off. If I was a white guy, that would piss me off. And discover whether the nation will ever move on from its tortured past.
Stupid, man. We will never agree. Never. That's why the world is a fuck up.
What the white experience of Africa is, for me, is really, really intriguing. On the edge of the city lies a notorious camp called Coronation Park, a place where some of the hardest hit white South Africans have made their home. Coronation Park fills me with a little bit of apprehension, and that apprehension is based on the way that they may take me, the way they may receive me, and the way they may judge me straight away, because I'm a privileged young black man. It's made me a little bit more nervous thinking about it. It's a camp in the middle of a park. They're living in a rough trailer park. In the UK, you sort of get used to seeing images of young black kids in poverty, and I've never seen those same images, but with white children. I'm really thrown by that. To see white people in South Africa barefoot in a settlement in a park, that's blowing my mind.
Yeah. I don't know. I think because they lost everything, there's no jobs for the white people. Did understand me? I'm not racist, or there's no jobs for our white people. You want paycheck away from this place. Because something can happen to you and you will end up here.
How many people are there in Coronation Park?
287.
Hello.
We're running on generators. We haven't got power yet.
With no proper sanitation and dozens of stray animals roaming around, health is a real concern. The government has repeatedly tried to shut the camp down as new people arrive all the time. How you doing? I'm Reggie. What's your name? JD, hello. 27-year-old artist JD turned up last month with his mum, 2 kids, and pregnant wife. That's absolutely beautiful.
That's what I do. I travel the whole country, painting and drawing all over the place.
So where have you come from?
Originally from Cape Town.
How have you ended up here in Coronation Park?
I've been hit by life, you know? Hit to my knees. You know, it's difficult for white folks these days. It really is. We don't have the ball in our court anymore. We are not the chosen ones, if you want to put it that way, and it's the truth.
Most white South Africans are descended from Dutch settlers and called Afrikaners. During apartheid, they saw themselves as a superior race.
We cannot mix with the lower nations unless they are cultivated.
Given the best jobs and education, creating a super wealthy white elite. In 1990, everything changed. The leader of the black resistance, Nelson Mandela, was released from prison. While over 50% of privately held assets here are still owned by the white minority, Afrikaner charities believe a new underclass has formed, with many living in settlements just like this one.
Hey, evening.
Even a little mud.
I didn't think about what the rain would do here.
Unemployment here is very high. One person who does have a steady job is Irene's son, Gerry. He works as a welder.
Hey, Eddie. I'm good, thank you, man. I've not met you before. I'm Reggie. Hello. Hello, lovely to meet you. Is that your wedding pictures I can see over there? You scrub up well, don't he?
Yeah,
He looks good in a suit. Flowers from the wedding day.
Yeah.
You still got them.
I don't want to cry them away.
Yeah, right.
Despite Gerry working, his wage isn't enough to cover rent for a proper house for his wife and 3 kids.
Just how difficult is it to raise a small child in a place like this?
It is difficult because the generator is on, but when you sleep at night and you wakes up, the generator isn't on. Then you must struggle to get light and whatsoever. And there isn't always hot water because you must make fire to get hot water. So yeah, that's a problem.
Do you worry about how healthy a situation it is for him? Because I'd imagine that it's probably quite easy for him to get ill.
It's dirty, you know.
Especially with the small one and Zander, they get sick fast, you know.
It's not a place to live here, not for the children. You can't live here anymore.
The harsh reality of being at the bottom of the ladder out here is that can happen to you. This is it for them. Yeah. Kind of keep you awake, wouldn't it?
I've come to the centre of Joburg to meet an old mate of mine, celebrity DJ Sizwe, to get a different perspective. What's happening now for young black South Africans?
Oh, Reg, what's up? How you doing? It's been years. I'm well, thanks. How's it going with you?
See, I'm really good, man. I'm really good. I'm glad to be in your neck of the woods, as it were.
Sizwe is what's known here as a black diamond, a young black guy with a very healthy bank balance.
Do people refer to you as a black diamond?
I guess some people would. I'm a diamond in the rough. I need some polishing.
But people like Sizwe are relatively rare. Most of the wealth here is still in the hands of the old white masters, and they live in lavish gated communities.
Is this one property? Yeah. The houses are just obscene. There's a huge gap in SA between those that have and those that don't.
Is that why the walls are so high and the
That's
security
why the walls are so high.
I mean, look, this is barbed wire, there's gates.
Yeah, electronic fences.
Yeah.
To try to rebalance wealth and opportunity, the government has brought in a policy called affirmative action.
In SA, if you are black, you're better off right now.
Well, why is that? Because it wasn't the case 20 years ago.
Just because of everything, man. Like, the odds are stacked to your favor now. Affirmative action. If I applied for a job, right, and a guy my age, same education as me, applied for the same position, but he was white, I'd get the job, hands down.
I mean, if I was a white guy, that would piss me off.
Thank you, brother. You all right? We're talking to Sizwe in the car, you know, one of the things that kept coming up was the swing of power and the white people feeling marginalized, you know, and feeling that they don't get the opportunities anymore. Reverse racism, I guess. It's a very different time now, and if you're black, you will get opportunities in a way that you never used to.
I've grown up thinking equality is about treating everyone the same. But here, things are different. Until the 90s, on these very streets, the ruling whites, or Boers, treated black people as little better than animals.
Don't like apartheid, because in apartheid, Europeans go up and Africans go down.
They were forcibly removed from their homes to live together in massive ring-fenced compounds, which later grew into townships. Everything was ruthlessly enforced by the white regime. I want to find out what it was like living under white rule on these streets. So I've come to meet 28-year-old Colin. He grew up in Alexandria, a township still full of black people, many living in poverty.
As a kid, you were actually, well, I guess, old enough at 7 or 8 to remember.
Between that age, yes.
Yeah, to remember some of the things that happened during apartheid. What sticks out in your mind during that era?
I remember when we called them the yellow vans, it was the police state vans. Immediately you see that yellow van, you knew you had to run to save your life because you never knew what would be predicted from the police or the state police. Because at times they would just literally stop to beat you up or not want you to congregate in the streets in groups. And even today, you know, police are not the most likable people in the townships, for example, for that matter. People see a police van, they see their enemy.
The most severe punishments were reserved for those who fought to change the system. These freedom fighters were kept in solitary confinement as a warning to others.
Political leaders were sent here. It was the most severe form of punishment. Lying down flat on the ground, you feel like you're lying down in a grave.
So they weren't beds in here, there weren't a desk, there weren't chairs.
There weren't beds, no chairs.
On the floor.
They were locked up here for 23 hours and only released for an hour of the day.
I guess this is where prisoners were chained to.
It's amazing to think South Africa has gone from official government brutality towards black people to affirmative action, from just my parents' generation to mine.
There's been so much injustice here that the anger is still so fresh. And just putting my mum's face to this environment makes me angry. And that's just imagining it, not living it. On face value, it's bang out of order that white people aren't being given the same opportunities as black people. But when you think about how long it's been weighed in the favour of the minority, you can understand why it's been put in place. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but what I am saying is I get why so many people are still angry and why they think that it is imperative that it's in place.
Although black and white South Africans now enjoy all the same freedoms, Statistics South Africa claims that nearly 16 million black people still live in poverty here. On that level, extra help for them makes sense.
Do you think that it's fair? Do you think it's right?
I think, yeah. You know what? If that's what I say, and I said it today, if our fathers and our fathers and fathers and fathers treated black people like normal people and didn't let them work like slaves and treat them like dogs, maybe it would be different today. That's the way it's life. Because it's time now for us to pay for what our fathers did. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Irene strikes me as being resigned to her fate, but her son Gerry is desperate to get his family out of here.
Your mum said that she thinks it's almost a little bit like a balance now. It's almost more fair for the black people. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I think that's bullshit. What happened years ago with the black people and the white people was nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I didn't fight the battles with the white people and the black people. Time when it was like the Boere, when they call themselves Boere, had the country in their hands. There was more food in our country, more job opportunities.
That was also the apartheid though, right? When the Boer were in charge.
Yeah, but they still the black people had jobs and they were still...
But had no rights though.
Yeah, they didn't have rights. But even though white people, what rights do we have?
No, but then at that time, it wasn't anything like now.
Yeah, it wasn't. I can't say because I wasn't there. It's a black government, it's a black country. They don't want white people, yeah. That's what I think.
Some of the stuff that he said made my blood boil. I don't agree with his views, but he wants a better life for his son and he feels that the way things are, that's just not going to happen. Being in this and this being your world in its entirety, I understand why you might feel that way.
Like anyone, I find it hard to witness poverty. But here in South Africa, it is very common. Their Institute of Race Relations claims a staggering 45% of black South Africans also live below the breadline. But that doesn't make the plight of poor whites any easier to stomach.
I can hear some music playing. Who's playing that music?
All the rich people.
What? Did the rich guys come around here and park up their cars, play music and hang out?
Joe, you know? When I was like these people, I was exactly the same way. Can you believe it's two different worlds? Can you believe it? Huh?
See.
Can I be completely honest with you?
Yes.
When you spoke about rich people, in my head I had white people.
Yeah, not at all, eh?
They're all black guys.
They're all black guys. Look at those people there. Most of them are young people. So they're getting what they deserve now. Fairness.
Is this fair?
Their moms and dads wasn't treated this way. They wouldn't have been allowed to come in here. So them enjoying their freedom, there's nothing wrong with that. You should go and ask them what they think about Coronation Park. And you'll get your answer.
I'm going to do that now. Hello guys, how you doing? Brother, hello. Where have you guys come from tonight?
Soweto.
Soweto? Yes. So you guys are from the township?
Yes.
Nice, and you come out here to enjoy yourself for the night?
Yes.
South Africa has come a long way. Some middle-class black people live in Soweto now, with cars, jobs, and money. And whilst it's strange to think this party wouldn't have even been allowed 20 years ago, it's even stranger that it is happening right next to the tents and shacks of hundreds of impoverished Afrikaners.
There's a group of people living just over there.
Permanently staying,
They live there.
living there or what?
You didn't know that they were there?
No, I didn't know anything because this is a park.
I'm living in that squatter camp tonight.
You won't get white people here. You understand? Because what do
You won't get white people living in the park?
You won't.
Well, I'm
If you prove something.
I'm staying there tonight and there's a lot. There's
Okay,
about
white
100,
people
over
that are
100.
standing, white people that are living there, they are three days and then they're going home.
No, 8 years.
No, you're lying.
You don't believe that there could be that many white people living that way over there? Why not?
I don't believe.
Why not?
I'm telling you straight, you're lying.
No. I came over this hill expecting sort of arrogant, rich white kids. It was quite the opposite.
White families still earn 6 times more than black ones on average, so I can understand the stereotypes. I hold them too. But if black people can't even accept white poverty, I can't see a way out for JD, Hardus, and Gerry. It may sit uncomfortably, but at least part of the reason Gerry is stuck here could be because of affirmative action. And if it continues, I worry that Coronation Park could keep growing, creating more race resentment for young people in South Africa.